Welcome back, guys, to the JJK Chronicles, a Jujutsu Kaisen podcast. I am your host, Chad.
Hey everyone, my name's Ronny.
And today we will be covering episode 2, For Myself. Not For Myself, that's what the title is called.
The name of the episode, For Myself. Already kind of confusing episode 2. We won't be too mad about it.
But yeah, so welcome aboard, fellow lads.
Hey, have you hosted a podcast before?
Are we going over what we talked about or no?
Well, we are. Okay, I just thought maybe you'd have a little bit more off the top. But
so we're gonna.
You don't have to try. We can just go straight into what I was talking about.
So we're gonna go in straight into what Ronnie's talking about.
Good work. We kind of introduced the podcast last episode, and it's still early on. We want new people to still get a feel for our podcast. And last time it wasn't exactly fair because we defined the podcast, and we think it's only fair to share a little bit of the criticism we've received. And
we've done this before in our previous
show.
It's
kind of a tradition, and by tradition I mean we've done it one other time.
Yep.
The second episode of season 4 of Attack on Titan, where we just like to read a 1-star review to let people see each side of the coin.
Yes, and it's very important for us to cover this.
With that being said, here I am in the iTunes review on Apple Podcast. You can leave us a review. 5 stars is preferred, but you might be like our friend here, who I won't even say this guy's name as you crunch ice on the microphone. Might be kind of why we get negative reviews, but that's okay.
Sorry. So
he starts off by saying, "Good Titan stuff, comma."
Oh, this guy's got a good review then.
Pretty good start.
Yeah.
Good Titan. He likes our Titan stuff. And then all I can see is the app on Apple Podcasts has this glitch where you can't actually see the full title. You have to go to a computer, and we don't do that. So all I see from there is "Good Titan stuff, comma, a ...
Okay. Probably and great material or something like that.
Something along those lines. So then we get to the stars. He says good Titan stuff, so I'm expecting at least a 3. He liked something. Well, this is where my friend really slapped us across the 1 star.
What?
Yeah, he gave us 1 star, even though the Titan stuff was good, presumably. So he elaborates for us, and I think he's got some fair points, which is why we want to do this. We want people to know what they're getting into. Too much random talk about how sexy they are.
Okay.
Do you want to address that, or?
I'll address it by saying I don't think I've ever talked about how sexy I am. I've definitely talked about how sexy some of the characters are in the show.
Yeah. Actually, that doesn't bring me to my next point. Yeah, I don't know if that guy happened to hear. We mentioned my calves because they gained some steam up in the Discord. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I've really been using that morale boost the past 3 weeks, just coasting off of it.
So yeah, he's definitely talking about you there.
You oftentimes talk about how many females you have waiting around for you.
Well, I never said I was sexy. I just said, that sometimes.
Yeah, so I would agree. I don't know if either one of us have ever said, well, we're so sexy.
Yeah.
Because we've got a lot of bad qualities that we also bring to light. But hey, it's fair. It's his review, not ours. Okay. We're just breaking it down.
And maybe we did say it and we just don't know.
Oh, by the way, if you came for Jujutsu Kaisen, we will do that too. Just hang tight.
Yep.
He goes on and says, they also talk about how women are bad. This one's on you. This one's on you.
Okay, this one's probably me.
You have this weird thing where you are infatuated with women, but you also, some people might say, doesn't seem like you respect them.
I wouldn't say that I don't respect them. I would say they don't really respect themselves. But yeah, I was probably talking about one of the characters in the show, and I might have misslipped my tonguing.
Her name is Historia. You called her Horstoria.
Okay, yeah, I guess I did say that. Okay, so he makes a fair point on this one.
Yeah, I think he's got quite a few examples he could pull from the podcast that would not shine you and even maybe me in some good light. So this is where it gets a little weird. He says, most recent episode talks about young girls having crushes and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know where he's going with that one.
Couple things. One, I can't for the life of me know what he's talking about. Have we talked about...
And 2, huh?
Maybe we said something about one of the younger characters in Attack on Titan probably having a crush on someone else. But I don't... See, we're usually very careful. And
what, did we say Falco had a crush on Gabby?
This is young girl. Young girls having crushes and stuff. So stuff is like a wide umbrella. Who knows what we're covering with that. Anything else you can think about there? Or?
I think that's all I can think of.
Yeah, that one's kind of confusing. They go on to say, this is where it gets kind of serious. It says, from young girl crushes to saying, also racist stuff about Asian people and slavery. And he ties everything up with a nice bow tie before we address that last statement with, not funny. Which that part's definitely fair. As far as the racist stuff about Asian people, that, I don't know, doesn't seem completely fair to me considering we've spent about 80 episodes celebrating the art that Asian people have made.
Yeah.
But it's what do you think here? You got any hot takes about racism?
Well, I just want to give our official stance. The
TPC,
race, okay, yeah,
really racism and slavery.
Yeah. TPC official stance on both racism and slavery.
I think it's important we clear this up.
Very fucking bad.
Disgraceful. I would follow it up with don't do it.
Right.
Good area to live in. Probably be judged quite harshly. And I won't even say quite harsh. I'll just say harshly if you practice either one of those, whatever, like those bad practices.
Yeah.
I don't know. If we say something, it's because our jokes, we like to push the limit, but I don't have anything against Asian people.
To the limit. Yeah, this guy really lost me when he brought in racism and slavery.
Well, I'll be honest. He lost me when he said something about how he was mad that we also talked about young girls having crushes.
Yeah, this guy...
But
it's, you know what?
It's all fair.
It is fair.
It's all fair. We respect it, and I feel like we're trying to influence people. This whole thing is to let people see the other side of the coin. Now I feel like we're influencing it. I really enjoyed the review. Thank you, my good friend.
Thank you for your opinion.
Sorry. It sounds like you like the Titan stuff. Sorry that you didn't like us. Mm-hmm. We live on.
And hopefully he likes the cursing stuff, the curses, and he listens to this pod.
Yeah, and with that being said, let's move on to episode 2, where I believe 80% of the people have probably clicked off by now. But for the 20% that stuck around, here's Chad to take it away.
All right, for myself. So this episode kind of reminds me of myself because I do everything for myself, nothing for anyone else. But we're going to start off where we left off, right from last episode.
That's right.
We've got Fun Guy. Why did it autocorrect to Fun Guy?
No.
Fushi getting ready to exorcise Itadori as a curse. So the tattoos just randomly go away now.
Yeah.
So it was the peel-off tattoos that I was talking about last episode. Easily washable. You just rub your face a little bit.
Not even hentai level. These are very your run-of-the-mill dollar store tattoos.
And then he starts talking in his normal voice, his little high-pitched voice. He's not in that deep tone anymore. Mm-hmm. And he says, I'm fine. Just let me go IV up in the hospital. Everything will be all right.
Interesting. So he goes straight to just inject me with some nutrients.
Yeah, some fluids. So we've got some more people that want to indulge on some fluids in this
Never
show
once
as well.
have I been like, something traumatic happened to me and me not be like, oh, maybe I need some medicine or some rest. Never have I gone straight to, well, I probably just need an IV.
Mm-hmm. So Fushi doesn't know if the curse is nice guy Itadori or Sukuna now. And all of a sudden Gojo just shows up right behind him.
Yeah, this happened last episode. Where the fuck did this guy come from? And I would just like to say, until further notice, I am operating under the assumption that Gojo can teleport wherever, whenever he needs to.
Mm-hmm. And he just says, what's up?
Yeah, he's got a shopping bag, which made me think, due to this bitch Corey V having the world by the balls, and even before that, when's the last time you have been to a mall? Not an outlet mall.
An actual mall.
Outlet malls don't count. This thing's got to be inside.
I did go to a mall to get a tux, and as soon as I started walking in, I realized that the store had moved away from the mall to an outer location.
Wow.
So I didn't even get inside the mall and walked away to go to the other location. So it's probably been 2 years, 2 or 3 years since I've been to an actual mall.
Okay. Yeah, I would say about the same thing. Don't buy
and
stock at malls.
Dude, I used to get so many ladies when I was younger going to malls. Dude, that was the pickup. Be like, oh, you want to go to the mall? You just walk around with your buddy. Mm-hmm. You
especially since we lived in an area where you had to drive
good
35 to 40 minutes away to get to a mall. So that was...
And all the babes were there.
When you were 13, you were often making trips to the malls and picking up...
Oh, yeah.
Picking up ladies in school systems that were 5 counties away.
Mm-hmm. Gojo starts giving him a photo shoot. He says that he's all beat up, and he wants to take pictures so he can show all the second years just how beat up he is. Right. So this is another one of those moments where I was like, Ronny is going to love this show. It's one of those anime moments where he pulls out a flash camera and just takes 1,000 pictures in 5 seconds. Yeah,
this one didn't bother me. I'm always gonna tell you when they go too anime for Ronny's taste.
Itadori's just looking at him like, what the fuck is going on?
A little confused.
And the higher-ups apparently wanted Gojo looking for this special grade curse because Sir Fushi hasn't been able to get it yet.
And I'm not exactly sure at what point we see it, but we see Itadori standing with his shirt off. And I was worried about our ab count, that it was going to go down after switching shows. But listen, if Itadori has anything to say about it, we should be just fine.
Well, let's be careful here, Ronny, because... This guy is definitely in high school.
Yeah, he is. But the abs are there, and so I just wanted.
And I wasn't going to mention the abs.
Well, I wanted to mention it because he's also. I mean, I'm not sure if his. And by the way, I think your mom's filling up a kiddie pool outside. So if you hear the water running through the pipes, that's what's going on.
Only cold water.
But see, Sukuna is also inside of his body, and I think we find out later he's like 400 years old. And that's part of his abs, too.
So you're saying if you kind of divide it in half.
When he's got the tattoos, wow. Okay. Look at those abs. And when he doesn't have the tattoos, shield your eyes. Yeah. Be careful, ladies and gentlemen.
I agree. Still don't agree, but whatever, I agree. He then tells Gojo that he ate the phalange, and Gojo...
Why do you keep saying phalange?
Is that not what it is?
What are you doing there?
What do you mean? A phalange isn't that what's on the end of the palms of your hand? Phalanges? Is that not?
I'm getting mad that you're saying it that way, and that you're acting like you don't know to call them fingers.
Well, I think fingers is when it's on your hand, right? Phalanges is when it comes off.
When they're no. So
okay,
please call them fingers.
Okay, sorry guys. I must have been watching the dub. It's different subtitles. Yeah, so he's... What were we doing?
Well, you were talking about the phalanges.
Yeah, Gojo's like, oh, you ate a finger? And like he's looking all disgusted. Then he goes up to him, right in his grill, eyes to eyes. Well, not eyes to eyes because he's got a fucking blindfold on. How is he seeing this guy with a blindfold on?
This guy is something else, man. I can't wait to see more from Gojo.
Love this guy already. Oh, it's just so funny seeing him with a blindfold on, just in his grill.
Mm-hmm. Like he's looking at him. He can't. That's a blindfold.
Yeah, it's a blindfold.
Silly goose.
Gojo thinks that eating a finger is absolutely hilarious, and I have to agree. I love how he just comes in here. As dire as the situation is, he just thinks it's so funny. And he asked him if he can swap out with Sukuna. Or how do you say it?
Sukuna.
Sukuna. Let me say it. Sukuna. Okay. I think I've got it down. The tattoo guy? Yes, the curse that you ate. So now Itadori's finally pulling it all together. He realizes what's going on. Gojo says, give us 10 seconds and then switch back.
All right.
He says, "Don't worry, though. I'm the strongest. It's not going to be a big deal."
Yeah, just want to have a quick little chat with him.
So he throws the bag of food to Fushi, sorry. And while he's talking...
What does your notes say? How do you keep getting that wrong?
I said Fuji, because isn't it Fuji?
It's Fushiguro.
Okay, I called him Fuji. Okay,
I thought you were going to come in with such an aggressive way to say these names, and you're less confident than I was.
Okay, I'm going to be honest. It has said 3 different things in these notes. It said fun guy. It said Fuji. It just keeps autocorrecting to whatever it wants to.
Oh, the autocorrect is a problem.
It's a damn problem.
If I wasn't lazy, I would find a way to turn this thing off.
I don't go into spell check because, I mean, what am I in 7th grade again? So while he's talking...
It's got to be such an easy setting to just turn off, but I'm so lazy.
While he's talking to Sushi, Sukuna just comes in from up top to attack him. But Gojo is actually sitting behind him. So he gets that big old punch and end up just sitting behind him.
This guy's quick.
I don't...
He can teleport. So the shot kind of backed away for a second, so we don't really know how he pulled such a move.
Yeah, he then pulls an old spinneroonie, just going so quick and throws the guy 50 meters.
Right. He should try out the shot put.
He should. He's not athletic. I don't know if he's athletic enough yet. A few more episodes to decide that. And then we get Sukuna says that he hates jujitsu guys. He just randomly says that out of nowhere. So we know this guy's been around the jujitsu block before. Yeah. So then time runs out after he throws him. They're in that little tussle. Time runs out and Itadori comes back. And he asks him if everything is okay. And then they confirm pretty much that he can control him. So he's like, wow, you actually can.
You actually have, almost, as of right now, it seems like he can just turn it off whenever he wishes.
Because as soon as those 10 seconds were up, he just turned it off. So he walks up and then he just gives him the old 2-tap to the forehead with his fingers. Yeah. Instantly knocks him out.
So, I can actually do this.
You can do what?
I can do this thing where you use the fingers and knock someone out.
Can you?
Yeah. Yeah, I can.
Have you done it? Shown anyone?
Oh, I've done it. Yeah, I can do it. I won't do it right now because we have to do this important podcast, but I swear I can.
Well, we'll take a video of it. We can post it somewhere.
But see, with great power comes great responsibility, so I can't really. I don't want to. If there's ever a time, I'll do it, but we can't really just do it to do it. It's not one of those things, so that makes sense.
Okay.
I had a couple notes, and this is what I was worried about that you didn't mention it. I'm on food watch at all times.
Yeah, I was ready for you to talk about the food. I always think that's your forte.
It's just that you're kind of driving this thing, so I needed you to just mention it in passing so I could hook onto it. You did not.
Okay, here you go. Food in passing.
So now we're kind of doing this weird backup, and this is where that bitch autocorrect got me, because he's got some sort of dessert. He recommends. This is what my notes say. I don't think this is what the show said. Sundae and cream flavored, and it's actually Zunda. All right, he says Zunda. And I looked it up. Zunda is made from soybeans. So this sounds like it's one of those bean desserts that everyone loves so much.
Are you saying you like it, or?
Everyone loves a good bean-based dessert.
Okay, so you're a soy boy, is what you're saying.
Big time soy boy.
So we got Goat Joe. He says if he wakes up,
and there was also another point. Is it also inferred that Gojo can read minds? Did you catch that?
I didn't really catch that. You think he can read minds?
Well, the reason I say that is because he tosses the bag to Fushi, who's still sitting on the ground. Okay. And Fushi, it's played as if he's questioning to himself whether or not this guy was really buying souvenirs. And then Gojo out loud says, "It's not a souvenir. I'm going to eat it on the way home." So I'm just on watch. He might just be saying nice. He knows he's going to look into the bag, and so he's getting ahead of it. He's just saying, oh, he's going to be like, why did I buy that? I'm going to eat it on the way home.
That's how I took it, but
it might be. I'm just, this guy, he's a mysterious little guy, so I'm analyzing him I'm poking and prodding him, all right?
He's very mysterious.
He's under the Ronny microscope.
And he does say that if Itadori wakes up and isn't possessed by Sukuna, he has this potential to be a vessel.
How old is Gojo? Can we say that?
To me, he looks like he's in his maybe 30s.
We can for sure determine he's of age.
Oh yeah, this guy is
because
of age.
You missed a great line when he was fighting with Sukuna. To be fair, I'm going to be if there's anything I like to do, I keep it real. I keep it real with the listeners. Okay. I keep it real with you because you're my friend. And with you, I'm going to keep it extra real if that's okay.
Go for it.
Your notes so far have been fucking terrible. Because one of the coolest lines is, Gojo, he leans back to Sukuna and says, I'm going to show off a little because the student's watching. And
that actually was in my notes. I didn't read it.
Oh, okay. So good notes, terrible podcast hosting. Is that what's going on?
A little bit, yes.
Okay, all right. That turned me on a little bit.
Whoa.
Come on. Don't whoa me.
No, I'm going to be honest. I'm not turned on yet.
It was a back-to-back.
Got maybe a half chub?
It was a back-to-back situation, okay, which builds up anticipation. And he leaned back and just whispered, he goes, I'm going to show off a little bit.
Okay, that is kind of hot. That is kind of hot. Especially when you did it like that.
Oh my God.
Me.
I'm blushing. All right, keep going. Keep trudging on.
I can't wait to see them beautiful pupils, if you know what I mean.
Behind that blindfold?
Oh, yeah.
Think he's got nice eyes?
I'd like to do some dirty things to them bad boys.
To the eyes?
Yeah. Like to coat him in something. He says if he wakes up and isn't possessed by Sukuna, he has the potential to be a vessel. I've already said that, but I have to re-say it because you keep stepping on my gears.
Because you're not saying it right. People are going to be so mad.
He asks Fushi what they should do with him. And Fushi's like, well, by rule, we'll exercise with him. Not exercise with him, but we'll exercise.
No, I like your way much better. Next, we just cut to a scene, and they're just doing jumping jacks. They're doing some push-ups, and then Sukuna's like, this is way too much physical activity, and he just dissolves out of Itadori's body.
We'll just keep exercising with him.
It's a much shorter show, but...
And then Fushi says, but I don't want to kill him. And then they say that when we want, we can go back to the candlelit room. Dude, what?
Oh, my God.
Hold on.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my God, this is just terrible. Okay, then they both agree that, we're not going to kill this guy.
Okay.
We go back to the candlelit room as he tells Itadori that they're going to execute him. So they just completely changed the whole mood. But this is the same candlelit room we were in the very first episode.
We're back to present time. The very first episode.
From the first 30 seconds of the episode. Mm-hmm. So then Gojo says, but I got your sentence suspended. And he pulls out another finger. So this guy has just got fingers on deck.
Yeah.
And says there are 20 of these cursed phalanges in total.
And, so to be fair, based off the monsters I've seen through one episode, we should consider ourselves lucky that this thing only has 20 fingers.
20, yeah. And he then says, we possess 6 of them. So they have 6 of the 20 so far. And he says, Sukuna has 4 arms and throws it up and blasts just a gust of air / I don't even know what he blasts at this thing.
Just, it's cursed energy, I think.
Cursed cannon energy. This reminds me of the fixed cannons from season 1 of Attack on Titan.
These are much more, whatever this is seems much more lethal than any cannons that they were spitting out in season 1 of Attack on Titan.
As soon as they fixed them, it got a lot better. And then he says we can't destroy it. It's just that powerful.
Yeah, so it makes a hole in the wall, or like at least an indentation, and then the finger's just chilling.
Mm-hmm. And he says, seals of modern day sorcerers can't keep up as this curse grows stronger every day. So we now know that these fingers somehow just keep getting stronger and more powerful. And modern sorcerers, I guess all the people at Jujutsu High, whatever they're doing, they're just not that good as they used to be. So Gojo's kind of one of these old heads. He might even be like 200 years old. He's still somehow alive. You know how that some shows do that?
Yeah. I could buy into that.
Yeah. And he might be one of these old heads that was like, back in my day, we were just way better than you youngins. Like, that's what it reminds me of.
Gojo is automatically set up to just be the coolest, most intriguing character. I've got about 967 questions ready to go at any time.
You missed your chance to say 969, but...
Well, I'm not a child, so that's why I didn't do that.
And then he says, you could be the vessel. And then he says, when you die, the curse inside you dies as well. So he's saying, if you get all of these, you're the vessel for it. We could kill you, and then that curse is completely gone as well. And he said, the elders are cowards, though, and want you killed now. He said, we shouldn't kill you, though, because there's no guarantee that we will have another vessel, or potentially any other vessel. So this is just like almost a once-in-a-lifetime chance that he's able to eat this finger and be able to control it.
Right. So the first episode I thought, was okay. I was intrigued after he ate the finger right there at the end. But it wasn't until this episode when they start talking about, these 20 fingers and him eating them. And then when he dies, it dies with him. That's when I was like, all right, I'm all in. This is a cool concept.
Yeah, I'm all into cannibalism,
I'm strapped up and ready to be entertained.
As soon as they mentioned, eating stuff, you were like, I am all into this show.
I love food.
So then Gojo says you have two options. One, you can die now, or two, die as soon as you find all of Sukuna's fingers and devour them. And we go to the OP.
There we are. Here we are again.
And you know what I have to say about the OP?
You said it was underwhelming.
You know what I have to say about the OP? Panda.
And I say long white hair licking blood off their thumb and also having some sort of mark on their head.
Panda. I mean, bro.
On their face.
The panda runs across the roof. How could you not? It's
just like anyone who watches it goes, oh, is that a fucking panda running across a roof? I respect myself too much to stoop down that low.
What do you think
They'll explain the panda when they want to explain the panda. I'm looking in the nooks and crannies. Is what I'm doing.
I bet he's going to find some bamboo. I love pandas.
That would be super cute. I can't even.
What if he's just the bamboo panda?
He just has like a piece of bamboo he's always carrying around munching on.
Oh my!
That's
I'm gonna love this show. I'm gonna love it.
Gojo's got a blindfold. The panda just always has a piece of bamboo. Oh. Or they completely flip expect. He's always carrying like carrots. And we're like, why is he not eating bamboo?
And then he finally, dude, the whole story is revolved around him finally finding bamboo and realizing it's like the best food ever.
A goofy little panda.
You think he's a good or a bad guy?
Pandas can go either way.
Yeah, they could.
To be fair. I've seen bad pandas. I've seen good pandas.
So we're out of the OP now. No more panda talk. And Itadori's in the hospital with his senpais.
Yeah, Gucci Goose trying to recover in the hospital.
Yeah, he asks about Iguchi because he's still unconscious, and our other girl, what's her name? How do you say it? Apparently, you're really good at this stuff.
I'm just assuming it's Sasaka.
Oh, you've already said it wrong. It's all right though. Senpai Sasaki. She says that.
Is there an I at the end?
Yeah, there's an I at the end. He's fine except for the fact. She goes, he is completely fine, except for the fact that he hasn't regained consciousness.
God damn it!
I loved her saying he is completely fine, and then it's like, well, he hasn't regained consciousness.
other than the coma, he is doing A-okay.
She says it's all her fault, and that weird monsters actually attacked them. And she's like, I know it sounds crazy, but I think it was from the Luigi board.
Mm-hmm.
So
from earlier that day. They're like, I don't think it had anything to do with the cursed finger and the monster coming from the ceiling or the gremlin that was eating his head. I think it was the Luigi board from that afternoon.
Yeah. He then tells her that it was curses, and it was a special grade 1 at that. And it drew in other curses to it and made them stronger.
For real? It was special grade? It wasn't even normal grade. It was special. Okay. Shit. that's probably, forget the Luigi board, it's probably that.
He says, it wasn't your fault, it was mine for picking up the phalange. Someone will come by, though, tomorrow and fix
Is
Senpai
phalange
up.
a word?
Dude, phalange...
Why do you keep saying that? Spell it.
Okay.
Do your notes say phalange?
Yeah.
I'm coming to look at your notes.
Oh, no.
Point to it.
Okay, that's not how you spell it. I did it to shorten up the word.
All right, so then tell me how you would like me to spell it.
So I spelled it. This is how I spelled it on here. Phalange.
Mm-hmm. You spelled flan, G-E.
It's F-A-L-A-N-G-I-E, I think.
All right, it's autocorrect, or it's pre-populating. So, so F-L-A.
Okay.
Wait, F-A-L.
F-A-L. Pha.
A-N-G.
Yep.
E.
Yeah, phalange.
So what pops up?
That's how I spelled it.
Phalange is the name of a political party whose ideology is phalangism. Phalange primarily refers to Falange Española, a Spanish political party active from 1933 to 1934.
So read the second definition where it says it's a goddamn finger.
I see. Is phalangism fascism?
Oh my dude! A phalange is a finger.
Oxford
Is phalange a finger?
Phalange definition: the Spanish fascist movement.
Oh yeah, it's Phalange. Phalange.
Okay, phalanges. Let me pull that one up real quick.
The PH is silent.
Another term for phalanx. A body of... What are you talking about?
The bones of the fingers and of the toes. They are generally 3 phalanges for each digit except the thumbs and large toes. Exactly. This is an index finger, so it's obviously a phalange. The singular of phalange is a phalanx.
All right.
God, I knew I was right.
When you're right, you're right.
Just spelled it wrong. What the hell is going on?
Shocker. Let's see how long it takes him to get back to his notes.
Oh, no. Okay. So we go back outside the hospital, and Gojo asks him who died, and he says, it was my grumpy Gramps. But he was like a father to me. He then asks if he's decided what he wants to do. This is Gojo to Itadori. And Itadori asks if, casualties are normal like this when it comes to curses. And Gojo says, well, it's a good night when someone dies a normal death after encountering a curse. Finding a torn up body is on the better end.
Yeah, so imagine you were on cleanup duty. Just say it.
I thought I was gonna say finding a torn up body is on the better end, and I thought you were gonna go, ouchie.
Oh, I've got an ouchie later.
Okay, cool.
Okay, yeah. So this is what I did with this one because he says finding a torn up body is on the better end. So imagine you're in the business of cleanup duty and you just clean up dozens of torn up bodies. You go home and your wife's like, oh, hey, honey, how was your day? And you're just like, you know what? It's a pretty good day. Work wasn't bad at all. We had quite a few completely obliterated bodies, so you can't ask for much more, for the work day.
It was on one of the better ends of the days,
It was a pretty good fucking day.
He says, if you plan to hunt them, you'll see some dirty shit, son. Choose your hell. I love this guy, man. I love this guy.
This Itadori kid, one day you're throwing heavy balls with your gym teacher, and the next you're being told to choose your hell. What a crazy roller coaster this life thing is, huh?
Yeah, and that's when he starts thinking back, man, to his old Grampy. He said, his Gramps says, you're a strong kid, help others. So then he asks Gojo, he's like, well, if I do, will fewer people die from curses? And Gojo says, of course. And then Itadori grabs the other phalange, or finger, we'll get off that train, and he indulges on it. He just puts it right in his mouth and swallows that bad boy. Yeah,
he does. How are you at swallowing? Not that kind of swallowing. We know you're good at that. I mean, more like pills. Like, how are you at swallowing pills?
I'm pretty good at it.
Legit prescribed ones, of course.
Yeah, I put in multiple at a time and then swash it down with water.
So you're a good pill swallower?
Yeah, I usually just, as soon as I put it in, I just slosh it down with water.
I had a friend who couldn't for the life of him swallow a pill.
He chewed them up?
I don't know. I don't think he chewed them up because that's just really not a great idea. He just always had to have like liquid medicine, and he'd be at my house and something would, and I'd be like, here, just, take, he'd have a headache, I'd be like, take this Tylenol. He'd be like, do you have the liquid form? I'm like, well, you're 16, so you can probably just swallow this pill. He'd be like, and he couldn't do it. I would watch him, and we would try and have him swallow the pill 8 times. He couldn't do it.
He would just choke up on it?
It is funny. I can definitely, I can swallow pills with the best of them, but it is funny how swallowing, you're swallowing liquids every single day, and as soon as there's a pill into the game, you find yourself trying extra hard, and it makes it unnatural, and you can hurt yourself.
You can. It's like when a chip goes down the wrong way and scrapes up. Here's the thing, though. When I first started swallowing pills, so I guess the first time I started swallowing,
and at this point, you've been swallowing pills for a while now.
What is that supposed to mean?
Where
are you going with that?
Don't be offended. I'm just saying you've been swallowing pills for quite some time.
Yeah,
I would say. Would you? Okay, all right. Let's just clean this up by saying this because I feel like you're offended for some reason. Would you consider yourself a veteran pill swallower?
Yes, ibuprofen, Advil, things of that nature. I don't like where you're going.
You're an
with
experienced swallower.
So yeah, when I was a kid, I sucked at it. That's basically what I was saying. I was not good at swallowing because I was the same way. I liked liquids, and as soon as the pill game was introduced, because I was a picky
Oftentimes, you swallow after sucking at something.
All right, I'm moving on. Let's get out of this fucking train wreck.
You said you were sucking at it. You used to suck at it, and then you were really good at swallowing. You said it. What? Okay, right. Move on. Moving on.
So Gojo has no idea what's going to happen now that 1/10 of all phalanges are now eaten. The tattoos appear again. Okay, we've got the peel-ons back on him. He starts having.
I'm starting to think these aren't temporary tattoos. I think there's something more.
I think it is. He starts having like a stroke or some shit, but then all of a sudden he's just fine, and it just goes away. So it was like Sukuna was about to overtake him, and then all of a sudden he just snaps back into it, took back control.
After Itadori, I thought this was just like a good. We hear people tell us this all the time, so I wanted to mention it. After he eats the second finger, he says, "It's so gross, it's funny," and that's a lot of girls' mottos for us. I hear people say that, like, "Those guys are so gross, they're funny."
Yeah.
Thanks, ladies.
They look so gross on the outside, but at least they're somewhat funny. In my case, it's neither. When people actually meet me in person, no one likes me. Gojo says someone with talent hasn't been around. Someone with this kind of talent hasn't been around for 1,000 years. So I was right. This guy is 1,000 years old.
It's right there in the text. Not jumping to any conclusions.
And my note just says right here, "That's nutty. Gojo doesn't look that old." It's a terrible note.
Bad note. And wow, for some reason he still has his notifications on his laptop. He's 67 years old, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, all right.
Your prescription is ready at Walgreens.
How did you know I had a prescription at Walgreens?
I'm just imagining you're getting old person emails, and that's what that bell is.
It's for my prostate. Itadori, a little butthurt that he'll be executed, but he's going to do it anyways. He says that the last request from his Gramps is going to be a pain in his ass.
And to be fair, I am not entirely... I heard what the grandpa said last episode. I am not entirely sure this is what his grandpa had in mind.
Yeah. Did you ever hear his grandpa say, "You must swallow all of the phalanges"?
I feel like if his grandpa saw where he was at, no more than, 24 hours later, he'd be like, "Oh, shit, buddy, I'm sorry. I just meant for you to, do the Heimlich on someone if they were choking. Be a man of action, not swallow 20 fingers of a cursed object.
Help a 3-year-old that accidentally falls in a pool and can't swim."
Someone's on the side of the road with a flat tire. Don't be the one that just doesn't look at him and drives by, pull over and help him out.
And then he says he'll eat every finger and doesn't care what happens. And then Gojo, he looks at him and says, "A fun hell awaits."
Ooh.
I'm excited to see this hell. So then they open the door as they're leaving to see Best Boy Fushi saying that they're going to Tokyo and that he'll be attending the same school as him. And it's called... No, don't look at your notes. I want to see if you remember what this school is called without looking.
Jujutsu Kaisen?
Tokyo Jujutsu High. That was close. And Itadori is the third first year that'll be attending.
Oh, big class.
That's like your elementary school, remember?
It's even, I always, my brother, Travis, I've talked about him before. Maybe you've heard of him if you've listened in older podcasts. He's quite a character. He wasn't great at it. He got to freshman year of high school and was, okay.
Sorry, I had a really bad sneeze coming.
What's been going on with you like the past 10 minutes?
Huh?
I know what's going on with you, and you might not even know because I go through this a lot. You're having an allergic reaction to something.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
Why do you say that?
Because you're showing me all the signs.
Well, you would know stuff that comes to allergies.
I know. Are you okay?
I'm fine. I just had to sneeze. I'm fine.
Like your eyes are, I can see. I see you doing that with your eyes, and you got a little sniffly. You got some sneezes.
You know what I'm allergic to?
Your voice is changing. I'm just worried about you. Okay?
My voice is changing. Have you noticed that? My voice is different right now.
Because you're because you're having an allergic reaction to something. I'm very familiar with it. I've got some allergy pills if you want to swallow them. Anyway,
that stupid bitch of a cat upstairs.
Real quick story about Travis. He went to a hybrid homeschool where he did like 3 days of homeschool and 2 days he went to what was essentially just somebody's house that they had like modified into a little homeschool thing. He was the only person in his graduating senior class. And I just made so much fun of him all the time. I'm like, wow, you're the valedictorian, and
you're the last person in your class.
They're
you're
like
the valedictorian.
Now for the homeschool resources graduating class of 2017, Travis. And that concludes our graduation class of 2017.
We will get a speech from the valedictorian. And he steps up, and they're like, all right, we've got the salutatorian now. He steps up again. We've got the class president. That's so great. I actually never knew that about Travis.
You didn't know that about Travis? If he was here, he'd say, go Dragons.
We get Itadori visiting his Gramps' grave one more time with flowers, and he's saying his piece. And then we go to the outskirts of the mountains of Tokyo with Gojo, which, by the way, beautiful scenery in Tokyo. I had no idea. I think Itadori mentions I think he says, I didn't realize Tokyo had such beautiful scenery as well.
I mean, this school rips.
It does.
It looks like a wilderness adventure school, like very green.
So I have a question for all of our Tokyo listeners.
Very floral. Yeah, all of our Tokyo listeners, listen up.
Or anyone that's been to Tokyo for that matter. Where should I visit in Tokyo? Because I know it's a fucking huge place. And is it really this beautiful?
Well, we're going, dude. We're going to go.
Oh, we will. As soon as we get famous enough.
Mm-hmm. Any day now.
As soon as we start getting paid.
We just got to break 200 followers, and we're there.
We are halfway there. Gojo explains that Tokyo Jujutsu High is one of 2 jujitsu educational facilities. Mm-hmm. That is a lot of big words.
Yeah. Hey, you handle it with grace. Good job.
It's known as a private religious school to like the outsiders, I guess. And many use it as a base after graduation / pillar of community.
So I thought this was kind of funny because, this school seems pretty off the beaten path. But I like to imagine that there's a town nearby and a lot of the students or people who have graduated and use it as a base have to go into town to get, food and supplies.
Materials. And
townspeople keep seeing the same people grow up like over 15 years and they're like, what kind of dumbass school are they running up there? Yeah. How many times has this guy gotten held back? He's always here.
Yeah, because isn't like the cutoff age 21 to where you can attend high school?
It's a private religious school. Why are they still going there?
Must be the opulence. So they go to have an interview with the principal now.
Why did you say it must be the opulence? What does that even mean?
Because it's like private religion means like opulence. Like occulate, or no, occultists. Occults. What do you call it? What was it from the first episode?
The Occult Club?
Oh, yeah, the Occult Club.
That's how I said it. It might
Is
be
that not
occulate.
It's not the plural form of it, the occultants?
You just said it, and I wanted to know in your head what point you were making.
I don't know.
That's what I thought.
Well, I meant that because occultants are kind of like shady people.
You were just trying to sound smart, you fucking asshole.
Oh.
You're like, oh, yes. Yes, the occults are the occults.
Yeah. Okay, if you think about it, a private religious school, and they do shady shit with ghosts and stuff, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's the Occulent Party.
It's the phalange, Mexican Libertarian Party.
Fascism system. 1933 to 1934. It had a good run.
So they go to have an interview with the principal where he could get rejected if he doesn't do good. And Sukuna then just pops up from the side of Itadori's face with teeth, just a mouth there, and asks, I think it's his left cheek as well. He asks Gojo, "You ain't the boss?" And he said, "I guess strength has no hierarchy here in this world." He says, "Once I make this brat's body mine, I'm killing you first." That's pretty badass. But I love how he says, I guess strength has no hierarchy here. He's basically saying he knows this guy is the strongest.
Yeah.
And that if he's not in charge, there's no way anybody else is stronger.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Sukuna even knows.
Mm-hmm.
And do you have Itadori's line that he says here? He says, "Sorry, Sensei." He pops out sometimes. Which, oh my god, did your mom just fall down the stairs?
I think she did.
Do you want to go check on her?
There's carpet at the bottom. She should be fine for now.
It's very thin carpet. Are you sure you're good not checking?
Yeah, we can. We're almost done with the pod, so we'll wait.
Okay. All right, I'm kind of worried about what's going on. Okay. He says, "Sorry, Sensei." He pops out sometimes. You say this oftentimes to people, except it's about your penis.
He does. My thing does pop out occasionally. And by pop out, I mean pop out of the inside of my body because it's very small. So then he says that Sukuna is a fierce imaginary god with 4 arms and 3 faces. Whoa, 3 faces? So I guess this is one of his faces that's on his left cheek. What if his other face is like on his butt cheek? Then he's got another one somewhere.
I'm down for anything.
He said, but he's actually a human that really existed. Over 1,000 years ago, the golden age of Jujutsu, they gathered up everything to fight him, but they still lost. And Gojo's already told us that these sorcerers now are not even anywhere near the ones back then.
Yeah.
He's the king of curses. And Itadori asks, who's stronger, you or Sukuna? And Gojo says, if he regained all his power, it might be draining, but I'd win. And I just love how cocky of a bastard this guy is. I'm already obsessed with this character.
Yeah, he's not worried about it at all.
No.
But I thought this is all interesting, too, how he talks about Sukuna being a real guy, because this is what we were talking about last episode, and you were like, I wonder where these curses come from. To me, what I'm thinking right now is it's almost like curses can form almost just by this negative energy, but people can also like embrace this cursed energy, and it almost seems like maybe Sukuna got so into it, got so like deep in these curses that he just fucking became one himself.
Became one, yeah. I like that. Oh Lord, what is she doing now?
She's probably washing off her injuries. If you hear that water running through the pipes,
you're lucky you've got a decent lady as your mother.
Took quite a tumble.
They walk into the principal's office as the man then says, "You're late," to Gojo. He's knitting dolls. This principal is just knitting dolls.
This guy is 5,000% a furry, and he can get kinky. I'm sure of it. Watch out. That's what I think about this guy.
I love furries, by the way. The man is Yoga Masumichi. Itadori introduces himself and says, he's into girls like Jennifer Lawrence. Well, aren't we all, buddy? And so was Harvey Weinstein.
What do you think of Jennifer Lawrence?
I'm into it.
Well, I'd like to start off by saying I definitely haven't seen her nudes. I'll say that.
No, there's no way we've seen those.
That would be very inappropriate
Yeah.
and not fair to her. I respect her as a strong woman.
Yeah.
And would never stoop so low to look at those photos.
Because they were leaked.
All 123 of them.
He asks what he came here for. And Itadori's like, Jujutsu high? To learn, sir. Great answer. I feel like that's an answer I would come up with.
It's a good baseline. You
Yeah.
know, just be straight with it.
And then the principal says, besides that, what do you hope to find once you've studied curses and learned how to exercise them?
It's like, oh, I'm also sentenced to death and maybe I'll eat some fingers on the way. I didn't know that that's what you meant.
Yeah. And he's like, why? People die every day, disease, natural causes, but you're telling me you can't overlook it when the death is caused by a curse? And Itadori says, it was someone's dying wish. I just want to save people. A dying wish, so you'll fight just because someone told you to. You fail, bitch.
All right, so do you get the feeling that, like, normal, your run-of-the-mill people, they know about curses? Or, like, they said 10,000 people in Japan are, like, basically disappear or die from unnatural causes, and most of them are curses. Are, like, these jujitsu people, are they the only ones that know this is actual curse stuff, and everyone else just thinks, like...
That's how I kind of look at it, because of the whole rugby field thing. Like, even though it actually was curses, but they just said it was ticks.
You're right.
Well, maybe it was ticks, though. And that the curses...
Oh, yeah, you're messing with everything.
Yeah.
I think that was just ticks.
And then the curse only showed up because the finger was in the school.
Right.
Even though it was swimming in the rugby field.
But I do tend, while the rugby thing was that's not what it is, I do agree with you that I kind of get the feel that most people don't know that the curse
They might have kind of an idea, but they don't really know.
But we'll see.
He then summons his green Care Bear, which he calls a cursed corpse. Mm-hmm. And its doll's infused with curse.
Chad also has multiple stuffed animals infused with his curse.
By curse, I mean my fluids. And it runs up and punches him in the stomach through his bag. So he tried to block it with his backpack, and it just goes straight through it. And then it starts flexing and showing off as Itadori just flies off.
Yeah.
So this Care Bear is more like a Scare Bear, in my opinion.
Oh, nice.
You like that?
Scare Bear, yeah.
That wasn't even in my notes. I kind of just thought of that.
That's when you're at your best, baby.
The principal says, you keep fighting it until I get an acceptable answer. And Itadori says the same shit again that he just told the guy.
If first it doesn't succeed, try again, I always say.
So Itadori then runs up and punches the Care Bear this time, which turns into just an absolute pinball machine and starts flying around all over the place. Now, you liked that, didn't you?
The pinball?
Yeah.
The pinball move? Yeah, the pinball move is a great move.
Okay.
This is all Newton's law stuff. Is that what you wanted me to break down?
Yeah, I wanted you to kind of break down what was going on.
Newton's sixth law, whatever object is propelled by other item force is portrayed as pinball movement into extra force.
Nice.
Gravity.
Then flies up and fucks Itadori up
Paths.
again. The principal says a family member is still someone else. He says, sometimes you must ignore those murdered by a curse to rend the flesh from it. It is unpleasant. You got to be crazy and highly motivated to do it. And you do that because of someone else told you to. I like this line here because I feel like a lot of people do shit just because someone else tells you to. And you got to do stuff for yourself and because you actually want to.
Amen, brother.
Stop listening to your shitty parents.
Whoa!
And by shitty parents, I mean...
such a good woman. She's always supported you. Why do you say stuff like that?
She's told me to do stuff before that I didn't want to do.
Yeah, taking out the trash is a very reasonable thing when you're 25 years
How
old
about
and
washing
still
dishes?
living with your mother.
How about washing dishes? You didn't mention that.
In your penthouse, of course.
It's more believable if you just would say you are postponing your execution. Are you going to blame your grandfather when you're killed by a curse too?
Whoa.
Get wrecked.
Whoa.
This is getting dangerous territory here, though. As soon as you bring up family members like that just passed away, shit could get pretty wild. Itadori says, you say some pretty harsh things, you old man. And then he says, education is making people realize things. That is the best definition of education I've ever heard.
They're like, Define education. Well, it's making people realize things. It's the process of making people realize things.
I was educated by understanding the definition of education from this episode.
It's honestly not a bad definition. Is the best part is that it's not a bad definition.
Yeah. The Care Bear then comes up.
Okay, what is that the action? Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know how else you would describe education.
I think it's just teaching people things, probably. But this one is way better.
I'm on it.
Principal Michuguchi does it well.
The process of receiving or giving systematic instruction. Nowhere near as good as making people realize things.
Simplify it. Dictionary.com.
Have we got to the part where the Scare Bear points at its butthole?
Well, here it is right here. The Care Bear comes up, sucker gut punches him again, and then that's where he turns around and points directly at his beehole.
Yeah. Yeah, and I thought everyone...
I wanted to hear your opinion. You were so eager to see his beehole.
Well, I just felt like, first of all, I was worried that you missed it, because it's 100% the thing that the 8 people that are listening would definitely be like, hey, they didn't talk about the bear's butthole. So we needed to, and then second, if you want an additional take, because I don't think I need to do it. I think everyone already understood the joke. But yes, he does indeed point to the part of the body that you use to infuse your curse.
Okay. So now he is, since he just sucker punched him, he's more like the unfair bear. And
wow, you're full of these, huh?
He says, sorcerers don't die without regrets. That's pretty deep shit right there. He says, why have you come to this school? Itadori then runs up, grabs, and squeezes the Care Bear and says, consuming the phalanges.
And all it can do now is be a stare bear. Because he's locked up. He can just stare at him.
He's going to put him in a chair bear.
I'm sorry. I wanted to be a part of it.
I like it. I'm trying to think of more things.
I've got one later. Keep going.
Okay.
Yes! Great podcast! That's the worst podcast yet.
Consuming the phalanges of Sukuna is something only I can do, and if I managed to escape my death sentence and ran away, I'd be reading manga, and I would stop and think, someone's dying from these fingers right now, and I would get depressed.
Amen, brother.
It's not my fault. I refuse to do that. I don't want to regret the way I lived. He then tells Gojo to show Itadori to a room and that he passed.
All right. And I don't blame you for this, but this was my quote of the week, so I wanted to get it how it was said. I don't know how I'll feel when I'm dying, but I don't want to regret the way I lived. Beautiful.
Okay. I like that.
It's basically a poetic way of saying YOLO.
And
remember when that was a thing? YOLO?
Did.
Life was much simpler then.
It was.
When we were all just
young.
YOLOing.
People actually liked us. The bear gets one more face sucker punch.
Hey, that's not fair, bear.
And then the principal apologizes. Hey, he better not run with scissors. He might be a tear bear.
Yes!
But you know what he was, though, after that sucker punch? He was a prepared bear.
Well, we could go all day, dude.
So yeah, we go to the dorm room as Gojo explains that all the second and third years are out. You'll meet up with him later.
Yeah, and once he got to his room, I would grab the bear and I'd tell him to go punch him in his room, and he'd become a dare bear. I'm done. I promise, I'm done.
And then.
Oh, you're not. Heads up! Heads up!
You stick him with a needle, and he turns in. You start pumping him up. He turns into an air bear.
Okay. Whoop-a-doo. Boom.
Oh. And then he says, well, just one more. I've got one more.
Well, he definitely needs to get a haircut because he's got a lot of hair bear. These are so bad.
He goes, do you have any fruit? My favorite fruit is a pear bear.
That's not even... You didn't even do it right. It had nothing nothing to do with the pear. You did what you needed to get to pear, and then you just said bear at the end. Oh no. Okay. Moving on.
All right. Then Itadori's like, no, I'm going to do it. Gojo then says, if they were that easy to find, we would have found them by now. Some have overwhelming presence, and some keep quiet. Some absorbed. There's nothing more troublesome than looking for these, but we have you. You're a vessel and a locator, a radar for us. So you'll be out on the field with us all the time.
All right.
So I like it. We're going to get some action from Itadori-chan.
He doesn't get to just sit around.
We can come to a win-win agreement with Sukuna. And as they start to walk outside the room, we find out that he's right next to good old Fushi boy.
Buddies.
Itadori then peeks into his room as he walks out, and this guy's rocking a neat room.
Yeah, it's a very neat room. It's like neater than Itadori's room that he just moved into.
Yeah, and I figured he'd be the guy that kind of had wrappers laying around everywhere, some ranch stains on his shirt.
Yeah, I would definitely don't have a room like that. Mm-hmm. This is exactly what my room looks like.
And then did you see what he did to...
Yeah,
I wanted you to comment on that.
And I would like for you to first set up what he did. Because
okay, so then while Itadori's peeking through, he closes the door on his neck.
Doesn't just close it. Use a better word.
Slams.
Thank you. Owie.
Yeah, there it is.
That's my note. It is. Owie. Don't do that. Trying to decapitate this guy?
And then we got Gojo. He's talking, and for some reason I don't have what Gojo says here.
I can't imagine why you wouldn't have that.
But he's goofy as fuck, and I love how goofy this guy is, even though he's just light years ahead of everyone else. He's just such a cool guy.
Yeah.
He doesn't take himself too serious.
Let's be honest. So, at this point, 2 episodes in, how is Gojo not your favorite character?
Yeah, if he's not your favorite character, you're just...
And being intrigued by Sukuna. And you can like the other ones. I'm not saying they're bad characters, but Gojo, what a guy.
He tells them that they're going to pick up the third first year now. And it's
it's a girl!
Female!
Yes! Girl!
We finally got a girl! And we go to her on a train, and she's excited to go to the Tokyo City. Mm-hmm. She wants to be scouted by Stardust, whatever the hell that means.
She's already introducing new things.
Yeah. And end of the episode. And she looks like a pretty cool lady. She's got some short hair. I dig it.
All right, so this girl's on a train. Let's do a little exercise. We like to joke. I don't think either one of us has had a girlfriend in the past 6 years.
Oh, yeah, 6 years, yeah.
And you really helped me out there because I'm probably more like 8 years, but you had that one relationship 6 years ago, so I've just lumped myself in with you. So let's just do a little role play here. This girl's on the train. You're like, okay, I think she's pretty cute. She seems like a nice person.
All right.
And I'll start off by saying we're not in a good situation because a train's kind of a creepy place, I feel like, to try and make time with a girl.
And you're like, what are you doing? Reading a newspaper?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So let's role play. Let's practice. How would you get this girl?
Okay.
And I hate the way I said that. That's probably why I don't have a girlfriend. You don't get the girl. They're not an object.
Well,
how do you get a date with the girl? I should say.
Come on now. You're the girl. I'm the guy.
Yeah. Well, and then we'll switch.
Hey, want to come back to my place after this ride's over?
Fuck no.
I've got some chocolates.
I'm a producer for Stardust, and I can get you exactly where you want to go. All you got to do is something for me. No, that's a terrible way.
I don't know how to hit on a girl.
But Dad, we're practicing, dude. Okay, so let me try.
Okay, I'll be the dude.
You get an F. The girl's definitely not for you. I'll be like, okay, hey, my name's Ronny.
Okay.
What's your name?
I am,
we don't know her name yet.
Chelsea.
Hey,
Do you want to spit out what
I'm sorry, I'm sorry, Chelsea. You have a good day. Damn it. Okay.
And then you hear that guy, and then you hear her in the background just talking to herself. That guy was weird, and then she just goes about her day. Come on, Ronny.
You're not even a real girl, and I got so flustered I couldn't even do it. All right, we'll try again next time. For now, we got one more thing we got to talk about this episode.
The ending song.
What
a banger! Lost in paradise.
Yeah, this thing was a straight vibe. Very lit.
Way better than the OP.
Oh, I mean,
besides the
I don't
panda.
hate the OP like you do. I like the OP, but yeah, this one, I don't know how I'm ever going to be able to turn this thing off at the end of the episode.
Great artwork too.
My only note is, some guys fucking terrible at coloring within the lines.
See, I like that kind of stuff. I like the obscure artwork. It sounds like it.
Did my 5-year-old cousin do this? Jeez.
It looks like an art drawing that I'd paid $5 million for.
No, I love the colors. I love the style. I like how they're wearing clothes that I could never wear because I would just look very goofy.
Yeah, I could wear them all.
They're rocking it. For me to just say that they're rocking it, you could not rock it.
I could rock any clothes you put on me.
Definitely couldn't do that. They're just very fluid, good dance moves, good tight dance moves. Maybe when we launch a Patreon, we'll have a level where people can pay and we'll recreate these dances. because I think we can do them.
I think we could. That's more in like the $100 territory. But
yeah, for the low price of $200 a month, you can get Chad and Ronny doing
Lost in Paradise
dancing. No, in my opinion, great second episode.
Yeah, it was.
I really liked it. I'm more into the show than I was last episode.
And I think that I'm going to like the characters a lot more too as it keeps going on. At first, like you said, it's not like it's a strong introduction of them, but they're coming along.
Yeah. And then real quick, we'll do one question of learn a little something about Ronny and Chad here.
Which is basically a segment where we learn a little something about Ronny and Chad.
Hey, you knew I was right there. Actually, here, there's actually two ones that are, of course, food related. They come from the Discord. And in the Discord, the channel that's popping the most always is the food channel. You can join the Discord by the link in the description. Follow us on Twitter @podcastchronic and email us at thepodcastchronicles@gmail.com.
Come bring in some spicy takes.
Marco Stan, she's trying to get something going here. She's got an FQW, food question of the week. What is your favorite flavor of ice cream, and do you prefer soft serve or hard ice cream?
All right, you answer it first. You're the food connoisseur.
Ronny's a real big chocolate guy. Okay. That's the way to my heart. Women is chocolate. I'm not a big... just don't bring me something unless chocolate's involved. Is basically what I'm saying. Soft served, regular frozen ice cream. She didn't know what it's called. I don't either. Either one. Why not both? That's what I say.
Well, I'm going to go with soft served. I like it a little bit better than the hard. Mm-hmm. It's not like that I dislike the hard, but I would say chocolate cookie dough ice cream.
Chocolate cookie dough. All right.
Or vanilla cookie dough. That's my favorite.
Yeah. Dairy Queen has a double fudge cookie dough blizzard that me and you... we tore up a couple of those in our days. Oh, okay.
We used to tear up some lunches, man.
Okay. She asked a few follow-ups. Sorry, Marco. I'm not actually going to answer those follow-ups. Instead, you've earned a story. So, we work in the same place for lunch. Me and you, we would go to Dairy Queen because they had this killer deal where you could get a $5 meal, and for an extra $1, you could get a blizzard along with it. Great value. And so I want you to tell the epic blizzard story that you had.
This is an epic story. So we go in there one day. We go about once a week. So I would say this is the week before, right?
Yeah, the week before we see. So I'll set this part up, I guess. We see that the blizzard of the month is a sour. And do everyone know what blizzards are? Or Dairy Queen's that world? Basically, it's just like mixed up ice cream. Yeah. They put ice cream and then they put toppings. They blend it up and then they charge you $4 extra for it. It's essentially what's going on because they flip it upside down and it stays. It's amazing. Paths. So we see the blizzard of the week is a Sour Patch Kids blizzard.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm
Ooey.
like, we're with my brother, and I go, oh my God, that sounds like the worst thing I've ever heard of in my life. Who would even get that? Who's even trying
Exactly.
that? So we leave that day, we're coming back next week, and we start talking about it. And my dad is actually with us this time, and I'm like, we're telling him about it. He goes,
Randy.
Lars. He goes, Sour Patch Kids. His name's Lonnie, but he goes by Lars. Sour Patch Kid Blizzard. Who the fuck would order? My dad didn't say that. He's actually a very proper gentleman. So that's it. Yeah. We go, we order, we sit down, and we're waiting.
So Chad is the last one to order. They're already sitting down, and I'm ordering my food. Get my normal 3 chicken tenders, add an extra 4 sweet and sour sauce, fries, and then I start to order my Blizzard. And
to be fair, now that I'm thinking about it, we talked about how good this deal was. It was normally a $5 meal. You got a Blizzard, which made it a $6 meal. You added 3 to 4 tenders, which ended up making it a $10 to $11 meal. Looking back on it, not that great of a deal.
Well, we were munching, man. We were munching. And so I order my Blizzard, and I go to sit down, and I'm sitting down beside him, and then the old lady who was our dear friend at the time.
Oh yeah, we knew we were regulars.
She comes walking up, and she says, like, the cookie dough Blizzard or whatever, hands it to you. Mm-hmm. The other one hands it to your dad. And then she goes, the Sour Patch Kid Blizzard?
And I start to do this move where I start looking around being like, oh, no, you have the wrong table. Just when...
Right here. I raise my hand and say, right here.
And it was one of the best moves you've ever done. We laughed so hard that you actually ordered this thing. And then it looked like the most disgusting ice cream I have ever.
It was so bad.
All those colors just mixed up in the. It was just.
Oh, it was so terrible. And I had to act like I was enjoying it, but it was strictly for the joke.
You could see that the Sour Patch. You were swallowing ice cream, but the Sour Patch Kids were fucking Sour Patch Kids, which are fine on their own, but they were just building up in the side of your jaw because they were frozen, and you're just sitting there like, no, it's actually really good.
Like half of my teeth were chipped off.
Oh my God.
It's terrible.
Just terrible. And then to wrap it up, Not an E-Girl asked, Ronnie, thoughts on sparkling water? Because as any listener who's listened for a while knows, I drink water, milk, and occasionally hot chocolate. Mm-hmm. No, I'm not touching sparkling water.
Okay.
Don't even.
Well, I will say this. You know how our work has sparkling water?
It's hardly even water anymore. Like, geez.
Oh, no, it's not. It's just carbonated flavored water. I grabbed the water.
So call it something different. Jeez.
Okay, listen to this. You're going to like this. I grab the water after work. I won't say the brand yet, but I grab it and I drive home. Mm-hmm. And usually when I walk in the door, my roommate, he's doing his conference call. He's just being a dumbass, Kyle.
God, that guy's such a dumbass.
And as soon as I walk in, I'll have my sparkling water. And the name of the brand is Aha. Mm-hmm. So if I walk in and he's sitting right there and sees me, he always goes, Aha, like that. Because it is so lame how the name of the brand is.
Aha. But hey, if you want to sponsor us, just let us know.
Yeah, basically what I'm saying is please sponsor us.
Yeah, just I've got a thing with carbonation. I didn't sit right with me. Get it out of here. Get your sparkles, put them somewhere else.
Everything else sits right with you.
And that is the end of this episode. So thanks for tuning in.
Thank you guys.
Episode 3 will be coming Sunday night. Be ready Monday morning.
Sub to us.
For the people who don't stay up ridiculously late.
Subs over dub.
Sub it.
But dub's alright.
Leave us a review in Apple Podcast. Help us fight those 1-star haters.
Yep.
And we will talk with you next time. I've been Ronnie.
And we love you guys. I'm Chad.
He was Chad. Well done. Peace.
Peace.